Welcome, everyone, to League of Leaders and our segment of Hot Topic Tuesday. I am Zach Sooty. We have Al Fragnoli and Brandon Gunn. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. We got some good topics to discuss this evening. We got football season coming up. College football just started, so a lot going on. But we're going to start off with the Little League World Series. A Michigan team wins the championship. This is the first for the state since 1959. Al, what does this mean for the state of Michigan?
Zach, this is exciting for everybody here in Michigan. So Taylor North, about 45 minutes from me. And you know what? It's exciting. I found myself cheering them on, rooting for them the whole way. They get to the championship game just the other day, and they're playing a team from Ohio. And my mind is like, we can't lose to somebody from Ohio, right? We lose to them every single year in football. So, that's saying something. That's when you know sports are at a down here in Michigan when you're getting stressed out and nervous for a bunch of 11 and 12-year-olds to perform. So, but it was definitely exciting. It's great to see those kids have some success and it being so local here with where we're from. Brandon, I don't know if you had the same feelings there.
Exact same feelings. I think it was great to see a team from up north be able to bring it home, just because you've got the teams from down south that can play baseball all year round. We don't have that same luxury here. I mean, I guess you can indoors, but it's still not that on-game feel. So for them to go out and perform the way that they did against some other teams that have luxuries that we don't, I thought it was great. So not only that, but to count on them, and then I think maybe the Pistons can beat a team from Ohio this year. Other than that, like I'm not counting on us beating Ohio in any other sport this year. So good for us there. Great. Congratulations to Taylor. And it was great to see them bring the championship home.
All right, guys. Glad to see a local team, local to you, win World Series, the Little League World Series. And I got a little bit more faith in your Michigan teams against Ohio teams this year. So I'll be rooting for you on that one. So the next topic, we want to go to the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens lost J.K. Dobbins on the first snap of their fourth preseason game, out for the season, it sounds like. There's a lot of questions about this. Should Hardball have had Dobbins in? What could they have done? You know, some of these starters in the NFL aren't playing any snaps in preseason. And, he gets hurt on the first snap of the fourth preseason game. Al, what are your thoughts on how players are now being treated through the preseason? And, Dobbins himself upset that he was playing. So, how about the expectations of the players now?
For me, I have no issue with what Harbaugh did in that instance. I mean, I think that the guys need repetitions, even though it's preseason. If it was the third quarter, fourth quarter, it's a different story. But we're talking about the first drive. It was their first offensive possession. There were 9 minutes left in the first quarter. It's a devastating injury, no doubt about that. And it's tough that they're going to lose one of their best running backs and a big part of that Ravens team. But I have no issue with what Harbaugh did. I think he's fine to play those guys. I mean, you got to get some of your starters those repetitions. That's my stance and always will be my stance. Brandon?
So here's the deal. I mean, we've got people that are being released. J.K. Dobbins has a safe roster place with the Baltimore Ravens. He was going to be a big part of them moving forward, a big part of them for this year. But we've got people that are like legitimately making the decision between playing NFL football or bagging groceries this year that are getting hurt and are being released because of this, So I think that, to Al's point, injuries can happen any play of any game at any point. And I think that, you got to play your players because we're seeing a lot of rust for some players already. A lot of people dropping balls. Jamar Chase, he's taking a year off from college, and now he's coming back into his first NFL preseason, and he has more drops than he does catches almost. So I think if you look at it, you've got to take, the preseason for what it is. It's repetition, or it's just getting reps to go into a season so that you can perform at your highest level. And so by no means would I ever, question Hardball on that. You want to get your offense tuned up so you can go into a season and perform. And so it's unfortunate that it happened on that first possession, first drive, but there are people being injured every play. NFL is a violent sport. So I think what you do is, you got to prepare your team to play and perform and win games. And that's what it is. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you sit somebody through a whole preseason and expect them to just go week one and everybody be on the same page and in sync. And, I don't fault Hardball for that as much as I'd like to, being a Steeler fan and hating the Baltimore Ravens. But, it's an unfortunate accident. And like you said, it could happen at any point in a NFL season. And who knows, if he didn't play all preseason, it could have happened week one, snap one. Because he wasn't prepared, wasn't in shape. So, it's a bunch of what ifs. It happened. Hopefully he can get his mind right and rehab, get back to it. And, hopefully have a successful season next year. But I don't know how you guys sit through a whole preseason and expect your guys to win games on week one. So I kind of agree with you there. So on moving on to another topic, college football, meeting between the Big Ten, Pac-10, and ACC. What does this mean moving forward for the landscape of college football, Al?
Yeah, so I think the Pac-10, I believe, if I remember correctly, announced that they backed out and aren't going to be taking place in trying to form, this coalition here. But Big Ten and ACC are coming together. It sounds like they really want to focus on the future and be on the same page. I think it's really simple. We talked about this a few weeks back, and I think it's pretty simple here that we're going to see probably 2 or 3 power conferences. And then, the rest of small time football or whatnot. So that's what I think is going on here. I think probably 2 to 3 years from now, it's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC for sure, and maybe one other conference. And that's what I think is ultimately going on and what's going to happen. Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo your sentiments. What I do think is, is really disheartening to me, because I think that with the Pac-12 backing out, they could have really made a stance and aligned with the other conferences and formed something, but they've already kind of bowed out. And also, not only that, but have scheduled games with SEC teams. That's a problem if you're trying to step up to the SEC or the newly formed SEC in the power struggle that it is. So I think that there's a definite power struggle going on right now. I think it's going to be interesting for college football moving forward, because you've got the SEC and almost everybody else right now. And I think that they needed to almost form that alliance to really make a formidable opponent. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because now, I mean, with the Pac-12 kind of pulling out of that agreement and, not necessarily aligning themselves to anybody, and also scheduling games with the SEC, they've almost kind of taken a side that was opposite of what they did before. So I think there are a lot of good teams that are outside of the SEC that are going to suffer because the SEC has such a hold on college football. And this year is going to be an interesting year in college football between the alliances, the SEC growing larger with some big programs in Oklahoma and Texas. And then also, once again, the name, image, and likeness. I think that still has a story to play out too, for the transfer portal and everything else. this year in college football is going to be really interesting to watch move forward. So as a fan, I'm sitting back and just watching to really an uncharted territory in college football this year. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I just want to see in my little corner of the world in Southwest PA, I just want to see Pitt and Penn State play. I just want to see Pitt and West Virginia play, and Penn State, West Virginia. Like, let's bring back those no-brainers that are going to sell out stadiums and just those rivalries that exist. And that's what I want to see in college football. That was fun. I remember in elementary school not knowing anything about college football, and it was just a big thing, like Pitt or Penn State, who you got? And, that got young kids interested because it was just a nice rivalry, and it just doesn't happen anymore. And, I want that to happen. Whatever that needs to happen in college football, that needs to happen. So I don't care how they align. Those teams need to start playing. I love the rivalries, the local teams. So in my little world of Southwestern Pennsylvania, that's what I want to see.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for another edition of Hot Topic Tuesday. We thank everybody for tuning in and joining us. We hope that you continue to tune in every Tuesday and catch our show on Hot Topic Tuesday. We hope you tune in this Sunday as we bring on another leadership guest to our podcast, and we talk to Rich Barron from Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching. But until then, thank you, and keep tuning in.